Hi, the final legal abortion death I'm going to talk about today. I had one illegal and another illegal, and I have a third one that was also illegal, and that was in 1920. And a young married woman named Margaret had given birth on August 19th of 1919, and she recovered. She bottle fed the baby, and she started menstruating again about 4 weeks after the baby was born. And then come January 19th, 1920, the family physician was called in to examine Margaret. And her periods had stopped about 6 weeks earlier. She'd concluded that she was pregnant, and she tried to do an abortion on herself with a catheter. And to put this in context, at the time, these catheters were available in drugstores, and they were something that doctors commonly used for abortions. So she attempted this with what was considered a proper medical instrument for doing an abortion. Now, Dr. Davis um, said that she told him that if he would not do an abortion on her, she'd find somebody else to do it because she'd rather die than give birth again. And Dr. Davis examined Margaret, found that there had been some irritation caused by the catheter, and her uterus was enlarged, consistent with pregnancy. But I have a problem with what he did next, which was that he lied to her and told her that she wasn't pregnant, hoping that that would divert her attention away from the idea of having an abortion. And first of all, it was wrong for him to lie to her. And second of all, he completely failed to address the fact that she was in some pretty intense distress. She needed some help, she needed some support. She did not need to be lied to and then just left to fend for herself. But the afternoon after Dr. Davis refused to do the abortion, Margaret went to a Dr. Anderson, and he didn't examine her, but he made arrangements to go to her home the following day, which is January 20th, to do an operation. And Margaret called some friends to come and assist. And this wasn't as shocking then as it is now. And just a year after Margaret died, a surgical textbook included a chapter on how to prep a private home for surgery. So that's shocking to us, the idea that he's going to do an abortion in this woman's house. But that was fairly normal at the time. So Dr. Anderson showed up with one of his assistants. He sterilized his instruments by boiling them at the kitchen stove. One of Margaret's friends helped by administering chloroform, and the procedure took about 15 minutes. And 4 days later, Dr. Davis was called in to examine Margaret, but she had taken to bed. She was expelling a foul smelling mix of blood and pus. And Dr. Davis found damage to her uterus, clearly from an abortion, and he treated her for the infection. And she was taken to the hospital January 24th or 25th, told her husband about what happened, told him that she was sure she was dying, and she blamed Anderson, saying that he lied to her, telling her that she'd only be sick for 3 or 4 days, and she was sorry she'd gone to him. So this is a case where at least I have to give her credit for identifying the person that killed her. Um, Now, for some reason, they discharged her from the hospital. Um, for that, I have been unable to determine why they decided to do that. 2 or 3 days later, it was February 15th, 1920, she died, and the doctor who did the autopsy concluded that it was sepsis. And Anderson admitted that he'd chloroformed and operated on Margaret on the 20th of January, but he said that he'd only been treating her for infection and the damage she'd done with the catheter. And he said that Margaret's husband had assaulted him, choked him, and tried to shake him down for $500. But Anderson was found guilty of manslaughter. He didn't go to jail, though. He was only fined $500. So he probably just should have paid the husband the shakedown money. He would have come out better off. So again, we have a doctor performing the abortion in a manner that was consistent with other similar surgeries at the time.